Now, the purpose of the Bible is to testify of Jesus Christ. The Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, points to Christ.
The Bible is true in a very strange way. What you do as an educated person is sample that structure that constitutes the sum total of the texts of our civilization.
Because if those four things are true, that there's truth, that God exists, that miracles are possible, and the New Testament is reliable enough to let us know that the resurrection occurred, then Christianity is true. Because if Jesus rose from the dead, game over, Christianity is true.
So, what is the food you give to the soul? It is reading the Bible, the Word of God. And I don't care who you are, you cannot live a victorious life if you neglect Bible reading and Bible study.
But what we have at stake here is far more than that. You know, your life depends on this book. So read it.
Pulpit Commentary, Leviticus chapter 9 verses 1 through 6. On the 8th day, the 7 days of consecration being now over, Aaron for the first time offers a sin offering and burnt offering for himself, and a sin offering, a burnt offering, a peace offering, and a meat offering for the congregation. He is still instructed by Moses as to what he is to do. But it is through him that the command is given to the people to present their offerings. And it is he that slays the victims and offers their blood. His own sin offering is a young calf, or young bull calf, whereas the sin offering commanded for the high priest on ordinary occasions was a young bull, further advanced in age, Leviticus chapter 4 verse 3. And in presenting the blood, he does not take it into the sanctuary according to the regulations in Leviticus chapter 4 verse 6, but uses it as Moses had done in the sin offerings of the previous week. The purpose of the difference being to show that Aaron's full dignity had not yet devolved upon him. This did not take place until he had gone into the tabernacle with Moses, verse 23. A ram is again taken for the burnt offering, as had been the case in Moses' sacrifice of the previous week. The children of Israel now present a kid, the offering generally made by a prince, that for the congregation being a young bull. In the words for today, the Lord will appear unto you. Moses promises the divine appearance afterwards vouchsafed, verse 23. Verse 7, make an atonement for thyself, and for the people, by means of the sin offering for the high priest, whose sin brought guilt both on himself and upon the people, Leviticus chapter 4 verse 3. After he had symbolically purified himself and them of this guilt, he was to offer the offering of the people, which should purify them from the guilt contrasted by their own sins, and make an atonement for them. Verses 8 through 14, the high priest's sin offering and burnt offering for himself. The meat offering does not appear to have accompanied the burnt offering, the law having not yet been promulgated, which ordered that the two sacrifices should always be presented together. Numbers chapter 15 verse 4. The burnt offering, with the pieces thereof, in verse 13, should rather be the burnt offering in its several pieces. The sinfulness of the Aaronic priesthood and the need of a perfect priest is indicated by this sacrifice. See Hebrews chapter 7 verses 24 through 27, verses 15 through 21. The people's sin offering, burnt offering, meat offering, and peace offerings follow. The meat offering is said to have been burned upon the altar, beside the burnt sacrifice of the morning. It is probable that, on this occasion, the people's burnt offering, which consisted of a calf and a lamb, took the place of the ordinary morning sacrifice of a lamb. Exodus chapter 29 verse 38. Aaron is said to have offered the burnt offering according to the manner, or, as it is given in the margin, ordinance, that is, he burnt the flesh on the altar. Leviticus chapter 1 verses 7 through 9. He also burnt the handful of the meat offering, and he burnt the fat of the peace offering upon the altar. He had previously burnt the fat of his own sin offering, and the flesh of his burnt offering. Fire, therefore, was present upon the altar, and was used by Aaron, as by Moses, for sacrificial purposes before the fire came out from the Lord, as described in verse 24. Verse 22, and Aaron lifted up his hand, or according to the more probable reading, hands. This was the first priestly benediction by Aaron, given from the elevated standing place which he occupied by the side of the altar.